Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel Kiran Battisa. The Delhi power struggle refers to the ongoing conflict between the elected government of Delhi and the central government, represented by the Lieutenant Governor, LG. This power tussle is rooted in the unique governance structure of the NCT, where the Delhi government has limited powers, and key functions like police, law and order, and land fall under the central government's jurisdiction. The conflict has significant political, legal, and administrative dimensions, and it affects the lives of millions of residents in Delhi. Historical background. Delhi's political history is complex. Before India's independence in 1947, the city was governed by various monarchies, colonial rulers, and, later, by British administrators. Post-independence, Delhi was classified as a Part C state with a legislative assembly. However, in 1956, the assembly was abolished, and Delhi was directly governed by the central government through the Chief Commissioner. Over time, the need for self-governance in Delhi became more pressing, especially as the city expanded rapidly. This led to the introduction of the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act, 1991. Which created a legislative assembly for Delhi. The act provided Delhi with a unique governance structure, a partial form of self-rule that allowed the Delhi government to legislate on most matters except public order, police, and land. Structure of Delhi's governance. The 1991 Act established a 70-member elected legislative assembly and an executive government led by a chief minister. However, the central government, through the office of the LG, retained control over key areas, which included public order. Maintaining law and order in the capital is a central responsibility. Police. The Delhi police are directly under the central government's control. Land. Issues related to land management, including land use and urban planning, remain with the central government. The Lieutenant Governor was granted discretionary powers to act independently of the elected government in areas where the central government had jurisdiction. This created a dual system of governance, where the elected government was responsible for daily administration, while the LG acted as the central government's representative in Delhi. The power struggle begins. The Delhi power struggle escalated after the formation of the Aam Aadmi Party, AAP, government in 2015, led by Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. AAP's electoral victory was based on promises of governance reforms, improved public services, and anti-corruption measures. However, soon after coming to power, the AAP government found itself in conflict with the LG, who began exercising control over appointments, transfers of civil servants, and other administrative decisions. Major areas of conflict. Appointments and transfers. The AAP government wanted to control the appointment and transfer of bureaucrats, but the LG, citing his constitutional powers, refused to grant this authority to the Delhi government. This led to multiple standoffs between the two. Public service reforms. AAP's efforts to reform public services, especially in areas like health and education, were often delayed due to bureaucratic red tape and the need for approval from the LG's office. Police and law and order. The Delhi government has no control over the police, which became particularly contentious during times of law and order crisis, such as the 2019 Delhi riots and the 2020 protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA. The Kejriwal government often criticized the central government and the LG for their handling of these situations, arguing that if it had control over the police, it could have acted more swiftly. Legal and judicial interventions. As the power struggle intensified, both the AAP government and the central government took their disagreements to the courts. One of the key cases was Government of NCT of Delhi versus Union of India, which reached the Supreme Court of India. In July 2018, the Supreme Court delivered a landmark judgment. The court ruled that the LG must act on the aid and advice of the elected Delhi government in areas where the Delhi Legislative Assembly had authority to legislate. The court also emphasized that the LG should not act independently or obstruct the functioning of the elected government. However, the court did maintain that areas like law and order, police, and land would continue to fall under the central government's control. Key points of the Supreme Court judgment, 2018. The Lieutenant Governor is bound by the aid and advice of the Delhi government in most matters. The LG has the authority to refer disputes to the President of India, but such references should be limited to rare cases. The judgment reinforced the principle of cooperative federalism, advocating for harmonious governance between the central and Delhi governments. Despite this judgment, the power struggle did not end. The central government continued to exert control over critical areas through the LG, leading to ongoing tensions between the two governments. The 2021 amendment, a renewed controversy. In 2021, the central government introduced and passed the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Act, which effectively curtailed the powers of the elected Delhi government. The act clarified that the government in Delhi refers to the Lieutenant Governor, and it made the LG's approval necessary for any executive action taken by the Delhi government. Provisions of the 2021 Amendment. The term government in Delhi legally refers to the LG, not the elected government. The Delhi government must seek the LG's opinion on all executive matters. The elected government cannot take executive actions without prior approval from the LG in many cases. The amendment reignited the controversy, with the AAP government criticizing it as an attempt to undermine democracy and the authority of the elected government. The central government defended the law, arguing that Delhi's unique status as the capital of India requires special oversight from the central administration. Broader implications. The Delhi power struggle has broader implications for governance, federalism, and the functioning of democracy in India. Impact on governance. The conflict has led to delays in policy implementation, particularly in areas like health, education, and public services. The bureaucratic red tape and the need for approval from the LG's office have often slowed down the Delhi government's ability to implement its policies. Administrative confusion. The dual system of governance in Delhi has created confusion within the administrative machinery. Civil servants often receive conflicting directives from the Delhi government and the LG, leading to inefficiencies and indecision. Federalism and democracy. The Delhi power struggle raises important questions about India's federal structure. The central government's control over key areas in Delhi, despite the presence of an elected government, challenges the principles of democratic representation and state autonomy. It also sets a precedent for other union territories and states where the central government could intervene in state matters. Political dimensions. The Delhi power struggle has a significant political dimension. The AAP government's calls for greater autonomy for Delhi have been part of its broader political platform, especially as the party seeks to project itself as a champion of state rights and democratic governance. On the other hand, the central government, led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, has justified its control over Delhi as necessary for maintaining the integrity and security of the national capital. The ongoing conflict also reflects the tension between regional parties and the central government. In states where regional parties have a strong presence, similar struggles over autonomy and governance have played out, particularly when the central government is controlled by a different political party. Future of Delhi's governance. The future of Delhi's governance remains uncertain. Several potential resolutions have been proposed. Full statehood for Delhi. One of the solutions proposed by the AAP is to grant full statehood to Delhi. This would give the Delhi government full control over all areas, including law and order, police, and land. However, the central government has consistently opposed this idea, arguing that as the national capital, Delhi must remain under its control. Greater autonomy. Another potential solution is to amend the 1991 Act to grant the Delhi government more autonomy in specific areas, such as land management or the appointment of civil servants. This could reduce friction between the LG and the Delhi government. Strengthening cooperative federalism. The Supreme Court's emphasis on cooperative federalism provides a framework for resolving the conflict. The central and Delhi governments must work together more harmoniously to ensure effective governance, rather than constantly engaging in power struggles. Conclusion. The Delhi power struggle is a reflection of the complexities of governing a city that is both the national capital and a vibrant metropolitan region with its own democratic government. The conflict between the central and Delhi governments highlights broader issues of federalism, autonomy, and democracy in India. Finding a resolution that balances the needs of a functional national capital with the democratic aspirations of the people of Delhi will be critical for the future of governance in the city. Please subscribe my channel.